this is just the beginning. To uncover more of humanity's journey in the stars, subscribe and join us for the next thrilling chapter. Before a cliffhanger, right at a pivotal moment in the story, you can tease the next episode with a hint for viewers to subscribe. The Galactic Council, a body renowned for maintaining balance and order across countless star systems, had ruled for millennia with an air of unchallenged authority. Its members, representing the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, prided themselves on their wisdom and technological superiority. When Earth's name occasionally surfaced in discussions, it was met with polite disinterest or outright dismissal. To them, Earth was a minor player, a primitive world clawing its way out of obscurity on the edge of a spiral arm. Yet, beneath their indifference lay a dangerous underestimation. Earth's technological trajectory defied convention. While other civilizations had evolved gradually, following predictable arcs of development, Earth had achieved breakthroughs at an unprecedented pace. From mastering nuclear energy to conquering the intricacies of artificial intelligence, Earth's progress was relentless, spurred by a history marked by conflict, ingenuity, and survival. The Council's oversight began innocuously. Early warnings came from minor delegates, representatives of civilizations on the fringes who had observed Earth's rising capabilities with unease. Reports detailed Earth's rapid advancements in fields like quantum manipulation and nanotechnology, areas that even the oldest galactic powers had taken centuries to master. These warnings were largely ignored. To the Council, Earth's achievements seemed like the fortunate stumblings of an inexperienced race. They failed to see the larger pattern: Earth's ability to adapt, innovate, and weaponize knowledge at a speed unmatched by any other civilization. Hubris played a significant role in the Council's dismissal. For civilizations accustomed to millennia of dominance, the idea that a species barely emerging from its home planet's gravity well could pose a threat was laughable. Council records show debates where Earth's potential was mocked, its diplomatic efforts dismissed as amateurish, and its warnings labeled as empty bravado. Earth's emissaries, determined yet restrained, made their case repeatedly. They spoke of a vision for a galaxy united in cooperation, free from the hierarchical dominance that had defined interstellar relations for ages. Their words fell on deaf ears. This was not the first time the Council had underestimated a rising power. History was replete with examples of smaller civilizations crushed or assimilated after attempting to challenge the status quo. The Council relied on a strategy of containment, ensuring that emerging threats were neutralized before they could grow into real dangers. But Earth was different. Its innovations were not merely about advancement, they were about survival. Each leap in technology carried the urgency of a species that had endured centuries of internal strife, environmental crises, and existential threats. Earth's people had honed their ability to navigate chaos, turning it into their greatest strength. The turning point came with the discovery of a technology that fundamentally shifted the balance of power. Earth scientists, building on centuries of theoretical groundwork, unlocked the secrets of subspace manipulation, a technology that rendered traditional faster-than-light travel obsolete. This breakthrough didn't just level the playing field, it tilted it decisively in Earth's favor. Subspace manipulation allowed for instantaneous travel across vast distances, rendering the galaxy's defensive strategies useless. Earth's ships could appear anywhere, anytime, bypassing even the most sophisticated detection systems. Even then, the Council failed to act decisively. Reports of Earth's subspace capabilities were met with skepticism, dismissed as exaggerated or unverified. The Council convened meetings, debated protocols, and drafted resolutions, all without taking any meaningful action. Behind closed doors, some members argued for preemptive measures, but the majority clung to their belief in Earth's inferiority. This delay proved fatal. Earth's warnings grew more direct. Its emissaries spoke with a clarity that bordered on defiance, urging the Council to reconsider its approach to interstellar governance. They called for reforms, transparency, and an end to the hierarchical exploitation of less developed worlds. The response was as predictable as it was damning. Earth was labeled a rogue state, its demands dismissed as the tantrums of an upstart species. The Council believed that time was on their side, that Earth's rise could be contained, if not crushed outright. What they failed to understand was that Earth was not seeking confrontation for the sake of dominance. Its warnings were not threats, but attempts to avert the very scenario that was unfolding. Earth's leaders, aware of the precariousness of their position, sought to establish a new paradigm of cooperation before conflict became inevitable. But with each dismissal, the Council reinforced Earth's perception that change would not come through diplomacy alone. The final warning came during a high-profile assembly of the Galactic Council. Earth's envoy, a figure of quiet determination, delivered an address that would later be remembered as both a plea and a prophecy. They outlined the stakes with chilling precision, describing the catastrophic consequences of continued inaction. The envoy's words echoed in the chamber, met not with the thoughtful silence of contemplation, but with the murmurs of disdain and the laughter of arrogance. In the aftermath of that meeting, Earth withdrew from further negotiations. It became clear that the Council's hubris was unshakable, its members unwilling to acknowledge the growing storm on their horizon. For Earth, the path forward was no longer a matter of choice, but of necessity. The final warning had been given, and it had been ignored. The Council, blinded by its own sense of invincibility, had no idea that its centuries-old dominance was about to be shattered in a matter of seconds. Earth's response to the Galactic Council's indifference was calculated and deliberate, a culmination of years of preparation. The final warning had not been an empty gesture, but the last attempt at averting conflict. When it became clear that diplomacy was futile, Earth shifted its focus entirely to ensuring survival and asserting its place in the galaxy. The Council's hubris, its refusal to acknowledge Earth's advancements, had paved the way for a confrontation that was now inevitable. The strike came without warning, catching the Council completely off guard. Earth's mastery of subspace manipulation allowed its fleets to bypass conventional detection systems, rendering even the most sophisticated galactic defenses obsolete. What the Council had viewed as theoretical was now a terrifying reality. Earth's technological arsenal had evolved far beyond the Council's expectations, blending ingenuity with ruthless efficiency. In seconds, key Council installations, symbols of their power and control, were systematically neutralized. The precision of the attack was staggering, leaving no room for retaliation. Central to Earth's strike was a revolutionary system of weaponized artificial intelligence. Unlike the static, predictable AI systems used by the Council, Earth's AI operated with dynamic adaptability, capable of analyzing and countering threats in real time. These systems coordinated Earth's fleets, ensuring that every move was optimized for maximum impact. The Council's forces, accustomed to fighting adversaries bound by conventional tactics, found themselves overwhelmed by an opponent whose strategies evolved faster than they could respond. The weaponry deployed by Earth was equally unprecedented. The cornerstone of their arsenal was gravimetric destabilizers, devices capable of manipulating gravitational forces with surgical precision. Entire Council warships were rendered inoperable as their structural integrity was compromised. Defensive grids were torn apart, not through brute force, but by exploiting the fundamental physics that underpinned them. The elegance of Earth's approach lay in its restraint. The strikes targeted infrastructure and military assets while sparing civilian populations. Earth's message was clear. This was not a campaign of conquest, but a demonstration of capability and intent. The psychological impact of the strike was as devastating as its physical execution. The Council, long accustomed to its unassailable position, found itself paralyzed by the sheer speed and effectiveness of Earth's actions. Communications between member civilizations broke down as panic spread. For the first time in millennia, the Council faced an existential crisis, its authority unraveling in real time. The attack was not merely a challenge to their dominance. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of their power. The aftermath of the strike left the Council in disarray. Member civilizations, once united under the Council's banner, now questioned its ability to protect them. Internal divisions surfaced as blame was shifted and alliances fractured. The Council's leadership, so confident in its invulnerability, found itself unable to respond effectively. Earth had not only exposed their weaknesses, but also shattered the illusion of unity that had sustained their rule for centuries. Earth's choice to limit the scope of its attack was a calculated move. By sparing civilian populations and targeting only the mechanisms of control, Earth positioned itself not as a conqueror, but as a force of change. The Council's propaganda, which had painted Earth as a rogue threat, began to lose credibility as the truth of Earth's actions became evident. Earth's leaders understood that lasting change would require more than military dominance. It would require a shift in perception across the galaxy. The strike also showcased the profound difference in strategic thinking between Earth and the Council. Where the Council relied on static hierarchies and rigid protocols, Earth thrived on adaptability and innovation. This fundamental disparity was the result of Earth's unique history. Centuries of navigating crises had instilled a culture of resilience and ingenuity. These traits, once dismissed by the Council as signs of Earth's primitiveness, now proved to be its greatest strengths. The Council's inability to comprehend the nature of Earth's rise was its ultimate failure. Earth's rapid technological evolution was not an anomaly, but a reflection of its people's determination to overcome limitations. While the Council viewed technological advancement as a linear progression, Earth's approach was exponential, driven by necessity and unbounded by tradition. This difference in perspective had allowed Earth to achieve what the Council believed impossible, reshaping the balance of power in the galaxy. As the dust settled, the galaxy stood at a crossroads. The Council, once the unchallenged arbiter of interstellar relations, now faced the reality of its diminished influence. Earth's actions had forced a reckoning, exposing the flaws in a system that had long prioritized stability over progress. For the civilizations that had relied on the Council's protection, Earth's rise was both a threat and an opportunity, a chance to rethink the structures that had defined galactic governance for centuries. Earth, for its part, refrained from exploiting its newfound power to impose direct control. Instead, it began reaching out to member civilizations, emphasizing the need for cooperation and reform. The strike had been a means to an end, a way to break through the inertia that had paralyzed the Council. Now, Earth sought to build something new, a system that reflected the interconnected nature of the galaxy and the shared interests of its inhabitants. The Galactic Council's response to the strike was fragmented. Some factions called for retaliation, clinging to the belief that Earth's defiance could still be crushed. Others advocated for negotiation, recognizing the futility of further conflict. Among the member civilizations, the realization dawned that Earth's rise was not an isolated event, but a harbinger of broader change. The era of unquestioned dominance by a select few was over, replaced by a new paradigm where power was more evenly distributed. Earth's decision to limit the scale of its attack proved to be its most significant strategic advantage. By demonstrating restraint, Earth avoided alienating potential allies and undermining its moral authority. This approach resonated with civilizations that had grown disillusioned with the Council's heavy-handed rule. For these civilizations, Earth represented a new kind of leadership, one that valued collaboration over coercion. The strike on the Galactic Council marked a turning point in interstellar history. It was not merely an assertion of Earth's power, but a statement of its vision for the future. In challenging the status quo, Earth had forced the galaxy to confront its own complacency. The Council's fall was not just the result of Earth's technological superiority, but a reflection of its failure to adapt to a changing reality. In the wake of the strike, the galaxy began to reorient itself around a new center of gravity. Earth's actions had sent a clear message. The old ways were no longer sustainable. The path forward would require a reevaluation of priorities, a willingness to embrace change, and an acknowledgement that strength alone was not enough to ensure survival. Earth's rise was not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one that would shape the destiny of the galaxy for generations to come. The balance of power in the galaxy had been irrevocably altered. Earth's decisive strike had dismantled the Galactic Council's long-standing authority, leaving a vacuum that demanded immediate restructuring. The collapse of the Council marked the beginning of a transformative era, and Earth, now a dominant force, stepped forward with a vision for the future. This vision was not born from conquest, but from a need to create a sustainable order that would prevent the failures of the past. Earth's leaders recognized that imposing their will through fear or brute force would only perpetuate the cycles of conflict that had defined the galaxy for centuries. Instead, they proposed a new framework of governance, one that prioritized mutual respect, shared resources, and technological cooperation. Earth's diplomatic approach was a stark contrast to the Council's historical methods of coercion and exploitation. By extending an invitation to former Council member civilizations, Earth sought to build a coalition based on equality rather than hierarchy. The cornerstone of this new system was the Interstellar Cooperative Accord, a document drafted with the input of representatives from dozens of civilizations. The Accord established clear principles for interstellar relations, focusing on conflict resolution, equitable distribution of resources, and the protection of emerging species. Unlike the Council's rigid hierarchy, this new framework allowed for decentralized governance, giving member civilizations greater autonomy while ensuring accountability through a collective council of equals. One of Earth's earliest reforms addressed the exploitation of less developed planets. Under the Council's rule, such worlds were often treated as resource depots or staging grounds for military campaigns. Earth's policies introduced stringent protections for these planets, emphasizing the importance of preserving biodiversity and respecting cultural autonomy. These measures were met with widespread support, particularly from civilizations that had previously been marginalized under the old system. Earth's technological advancements also played a pivotal role in shaping the new order. By sharing innovations such as subspace manipulation and advanced energy solutions, Earth helped level the playing field among civilizations. This act of goodwill not only strengthened alliances, but also fostered a sense of trust that had been absent during the Council's era. Civilizations that had once viewed Earth with suspicion began to see it as a stabilizing force, a leader that valued collaboration over dominance. Cultural exchanges flourished in the wake of these reforms. For the first time, civilizations across the galaxy began to interact on a level playing field, sharing art, philosophy, and knowledge without the constraints of political agendas. Earth's emphasis on mutual understanding created a cultural renaissance that bridged the gaps between species and fostered a sense of shared identity. This newfound unity was critical in addressing the galaxy's most pressing challenges, from environmental restoration to interstellar trade. Despite these successes, the transition was not without challenges. The remnants of the Galactic Council resisted the new order, clinging to the vestiges of their former power. Some factions attempted to incite rebellion, spreading propaganda that painted Earth as a tyrant in disguise. Earth's response was measured, relying on diplomacy and transparency to counter these narratives. By allowing civilizations to witness the benefits of the new system firsthand, Earth gradually undermined the influence of dissenting factions. Another challenge arose from the complexities of integrating diverse civilizations into a unified framework. Each species brought its own priorities, histories, and grievances, making consensus difficult to achieve. Earth's leaders approached this issue with patience, mediating disputes and fostering dialogue to ensure that no voice was overlooked. This commitment to inclusivity became one of the defining features of the new galactic order. As the new system took shape, Earth's role evolved from that of a disruptor to a steward of peace and progress. Its leaders worked tirelessly to ensure that power remained decentralized, preventing the emergence of another hegemonic entity like the Council. Earth's willingness to cede authority on key issues demonstrated its commitment to the principles it had championed, further solidifying its credibility among member civilizations. The ripple effects of Earth's leadership extended beyond governance. The galaxy's scientific community experienced an unprecedented surge in innovation as civilizations pooled their knowledge and resources. Collaborative projects tackled challenges that had once seemed insurmountable, from harnessing the energy of dying stars to developing cures for interstellar pandemics. This spirit of cooperation underscored the potential of the new order to achieve what the Council never could. Economically, the new system fostered a more equitable distribution of resources. Trade routes were restructured to prioritize mutual benefit rather than the exploitation of weaker civilizations. Earth introduced advanced logistics systems that streamlined interstellar commerce, reducing waste and maximizing efficiency. These reforms not only stabilized the galaxy's economy, but also created opportunities for civilizations that had long been excluded from the Council's wealth. Over time, Earth's influence became less about power and more about inspiration. Its story, a once overlooked planet rising to prominence through resilience and innovation, resonated across the galaxy. Civilizations began to adopt Earth's values of adaptability, cooperation, and sustainability, integrating them into their own cultures. This cultural shift marked the true success of Earth's vision, as the principles it had championed took root in every corner of the galaxy. The new galactic order was not without its critics. Some argued that Earth's rapid rise had set a dangerous precedent, encouraging other civilizations to pursue similar paths of accelerated development. Others questioned whether the decentralized model could withstand external threats, such as incursions from extragalactic entities or rogue factions within the galaxy. Earth acknowledged these concerns and worked to address them through proactive measures, including the establishment of a unified defense initiative and the development of contingency plans for unforeseen crises. Looking back, it became clear that the Galactic Council's downfall had been both a tragedy and a necessity. Its failure to adapt to a changing galaxy had made its collapse inevitable, but it was Earth's vision that turned the aftermath into an opportunity for renewal. The new order, though imperfect, represented a step forward, a chance to build a galaxy that valued diversity and cooperation over dominance and control. Earth's leaders remained cautious, aware that the galaxy's future depended on their ability to navigate the challenges ahead. They understood that their role was not to dictate, but to guide, fostering an environment where civilizations could thrive together. This humility, rooted in Earth's own history of struggle and perseverance, became the foundation of its leadership. As the galaxy moved forward, the lessons of Earth's rise echoed through every star system. The old ways, marked by arrogance and complacency, had given way to a new era defined by resilience and collaboration. The Galactic Council's legacy served as a reminder of the dangers of stagnation, while Earth's ascent became a testament to the power of vision and determination. In the end, Earth's most significant achievement was not its technological superiority or its military success, but its ability to inspire change. By challenging the status quo and offering a path forward, Earth had reshaped the galaxy's destiny. Ensuring that its final warning would never be forgotten, the legacy of Earth's rise resonated across the galaxy, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter. While the Galactic Council's fall had been swift, its consequences were far-reaching, altering the trajectory of interstellar relations in ways no one could have foreseen. Earth's actions, calculated and purposeful, set in motion a series of transformations that reshaped the galaxy's collective identity. Earth's leadership was defined by a balance of strength and diplomacy. Its decision to limit its initial strikes, sparing civilian populations and focusing on dismantling the Council's infrastructure, had set a precedent for restraint and responsibility. This approach distinguished Earth from previous hegemonies that had relied on fear and domination. By demonstrating both capability and self-control, Earth positioned itself as a stabilizing force rather than an oppressive power. This distinction became the cornerstone of its leadership. One of Earth's first priorities was addressing the fragmentation left in the wake of the Council's collapse. Without a central governing body, many civilizations struggled to adapt to the sudden void of authority. Trade networks had been disrupted, long-standing alliances were destabilized, and smaller civilizations faced increased vulnerability. Earth responded by establishing transitional coalitions, providing guidance and resources to maintain stability. These coalitions were not designed to consolidate power, but to empower civilizations to rebuild autonomously, fostering resilience at the local level. Economic reform became a central focus. Under the Council's rule, resources had often been allocated to maintain the privileges of dominant civilizations, leaving others in perpetual scarcity. Earth introduced a system of equitable trade agreements that prioritized mutual benefit. By leveraging its advanced logistical systems, Earth facilitated the redistribution of resources across the galaxy, ensuring that no civilization was left behind. This approach revitalized economies that had been marginalized for centuries, creating a foundation for sustainable growth. The cultural shift initiated by Earth's rise was perhaps its most profound impact. For millennia, the galaxy had been divided by hierarchical systems that suppressed individuality and stifled innovation. Earth's emphasis on collaboration and diversity created an environment where civilizations could express their unique identities without fear of subjugation. This cultural renaissance was fueled by the exchange of knowledge and ideas, breaking down barriers that had once seemed insurmountable. Civilizations that had been isolated by geography or politics now found themselves part of a vibrant, interconnected network. Earth's willingness to share its technological advancements further solidified its role as a leader. Subspace manipulation, once a closely guarded secret, was made accessible to other civilizations, revolutionizing travel and communication across the galaxy. Advanced energy solutions and medical breakthroughs were similarly disseminated, elevating the standard of living for countless populations. By prioritizing the well-being of the galaxy over its own strategic advantage, Earth demonstrated a level of altruism that inspired trust and cooperation. Despite its successes, Earth's leadership was not without challenges. The remnants of the Galactic Council, though weakened, continued to resist the new order. Some former council members sought to re-establish their dominance, exploiting the instability created by the transition. These efforts were countered by Earth's diplomatic corps, which worked tirelessly to mediate disputes and build consensus. Earth understood that lasting peace could not be imposed. It had to be cultivated through mutual understanding and shared goals. Another challenge was the integration of emerging civilizations into the new framework. The galaxy was home to countless species at varying stages of development, each with its own needs and perspectives. Earth's leaders recognized that a one-size-fits-all approach would be ineffective, so they implemented tailored policies that respected the unique circumstances of each civilization. This adaptability became one of the defining strengths of the new order, ensuring that progress was inclusive and sustainable. As Earth's influence grew, so did its responsibilities. The galaxy's population looked to Earth not only as a leader, but also as a symbol of possibility. This expectation placed immense pressure on Earth's leaders, who were acutely aware of the risks of complacency and hubris. To address these risks, Earth established mechanisms of accountability, ensuring that power remained decentralized and that decisions were made collaboratively. These mechanisms included independent oversight councils and regular summits where all member civilizations could voice their concerns and contribute to policymaking. The lessons of the past were never far from Earth's consciousness. The downfall of the Galactic Council had been a stark reminder of the dangers of stagnation and arrogance. Earth's leaders worked tirelessly to ensure that the new order did not repeat the mistakes of its predecessor. They prioritized adaptability, fostering an environment where change was embraced rather than resisted. This commitment to continuous improvement became the hallmark of Earth's leadership. The new galactic order was not without its critics. Some argued that Earth's approach was overly idealistic, risking inefficiency in the pursuit of inclusivity. Others warned of external threats, such as extragalactic incursions or rogue factions, that could exploit the decentralized system. Earth addressed these concerns by establishing a unified defense initiative, combining the military capabilities of member civilizations into a cohesive force. This initiative was not intended as a tool of aggression, but as a safeguard against unforeseen dangers. Over time, the new order began to stabilize. The galaxy's civilizations, once fragmented and distrustful, found common ground in their shared pursuit of progress. The scars of the Council's reign, though not forgotten, began to heal as the benefits of the new system became evident. Earth's role evolved from that of a disruptor to a custodian, guiding the galaxy toward a future defined by cooperation and innovation. The legacy of Earth's rise was not confined to its immediate impact. It inspired a reevaluation of what it meant to be a galactic civilization. The qualities that had once been dismissed as weaknesses, resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity, were now seen as strengths. Earth's story became a source of inspiration for civilizations across the galaxy, a reminder that even the most unassuming beginnings could lead to greatness. As the galaxy looked to the future, it did so with a renewed sense of purpose. The era of the Galactic Council, marked by rigidity and control, had given way to a new paradigm of collaboration and possibility. Earth's rise had been a catalyst for this transformation, challenging the galaxy to rethink its values and priorities. In the end, Earth's most significant contribution was not its technology or its military might, but its ability to inspire change. By challenging the status quo and offering a vision for a better future, Earth had reshaped the galaxy's destiny. Its final warning, once dismissed, had become the foundation for a new era, one where the mistakes of the past served as lessons for the present and guides for the future. This was Earth's legacy, a testament to the power of vision, determination, and the unyielding pursuit of progress.